the Capital Adventure X, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. If you've done any research on this, you may think you already know the answer. However, this video I think is going to be just a little bit different, because yes, we are going to compare the card's fees, the benefits, the spending categories, lounge access, travel portals, transfer partners, etc. However, what we're not going to do is be looking at these cards in a vacuum, because we live in a world with options. So if you don't get this premium card, you can always get the lower annual fee version like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Capital One Venture, and so that can really influence your decision as far as which one is actually better for you. Don't forget, if you do decide to apply to any of these cards and you don't have a friend's referral link, I would appreciate it if you let me be your friend and use one of my referral or affiliate links down in the description. It's a great way to help a brother out. Anyways, let's get into it. First off, the annual fees. The Capital One Venture X has an annual fee of $395. They have a $300 credit that you're able to use via their travel portal, so you spend $300 or more of a hotel stay, a rental car, flight, you get $300 of that wiped off. And then on your card anniversary, after a year of having the card, you get 10,000 points deposited into your account. In the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you have a $550 annual fee, and you also have a $300 credit. However, that's a lot easier to use. You don't have to book through the travel portal. You just simply spend anything within the broad travel related category and you'll automatically get a statement credit. And now the travel category is very broad, like I said, so flights, hotels, booked directly, even parking, tolls, or anything like that typically count. So it's fairly straightforward that Capital One has the less upfront cost and more credits to outweigh that annual fee, ultimately giving you a net positive after your first year of having the card. And the Sapphire Reserve has a higher annual fee, but its positive is that that credit is super easy to use, and so if you're extremely anti-travel portal, that may be more appealing to you. And now with transfer partners, here's my take. I think both of these cards, I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I think they are extremely complementary to each other. For example, Chase has Hyatt, so it's incredible for hotels, and they also have some of the US based carriers like Southwest, JetBlue, United, whereas Capital One has a lot more diverse airline partner situation. They have the common and useful ones like Virgin Atlantic, Flying Blue, Avios partners, etc., but they have some really good ones like Avianca, Turkish Airlines, and Cathay Pacific, which come in handy for various different redemptions. And so I won't say that transfer partners is a huge factor as far as which credit card you should get of these families, because I think you should get at least one in order to take advantage of both of their transfer partners. And the same goes with the sign-up bonus. The current and standard sign-up bonus for the Chase Sapphire Reserve is 60,000 points. Every so often you'll see it elevated to 80,000, but that's maybe once a year. And it is pretty common just to get the Chase Sapphire Preferred at the 60, 80, or sometimes 100,000 point bonus, and then after a year or so just upgrade the card. And you can do that just by calling the Chase customer service line and asking them to upgrade. You won't be eligible for any sign-up bonus whenever you do that. However, it's an easy way to get the card, and we'll actually come back to that. But the Venture X, the sign-up bonus is 75,000 points. That's standard, and that's the way it's been for a while now. And so both of these bonuses are okay. The Venture X, of course, has more points, but depending on which one you really want. But I think both of these are fine enough to apply to and not necessarily wait for an elevated bonus unless you were just in no rush to get either of these cards. Plus, both of these bonuses are equal to their $95 annual fee counterparts, so again, not a huge deciding factor in my opinion. However, the spending categories are pretty different from each other. The Capital One Venture X keeps it pretty simple at just 2 times points per dollar spent on any category across the board. However, you do receive 5x back whenever you pay for flights via the Capital One travel portal. Then you also get 10x back whenever you pay for hotels and rental cars within the travel portal as well. And now the Chase Sapphire Reserve also has that 5 to 10x back on the travel portal, similar to Capital One. However, they have 3x on dining and 3x on that travel category that we spoke about earlier. You also earn 10x back on Lyft rides up until March of 2025, but we'll see if they extend that or what they do with that once that time. And then you get 1x back on every other purchase. It's nothing too crazy. It's similar to the Chase Sapphire Preferred, with the exception of a few multipliers. For instance, the travel category is only 2x on the Sapphire Preferred versus the 3x on the Reserve. And so I wouldn't say the difference in spending categories is too much of a game changer unless that 3x back on travel is really appealing to you. However, unless you're straight up a full-time traveler, I don't think that makes a huge difference between that 1% back. About to get into the remaining factors that I think really kind of make up this decision for most people. However, real quick, drop in the comments which one of these cards you're already leaning towards, and then go ahead and check to see if you're subscribed. My name is Michael with Nurse Michael Travels. You know the rule. If you've seen 3 of my videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later, but I would really appreciate it if you didn't. Now we're moving on to lounge access. This is where I think the playing field gets a little bit leveled here, because this is what everybody wants. So with Capital One One Venture X, you're going to get access to the Capital One lounges, Plaza Premium, and Priority Pass. The Capital One lounge locations include DFW, Denver, and Washington Dulles. They have locations that's supposed to be opening up at the Reagan Airport in DC, in Las Vegas, in LaGuardia, and JFK in New York. And Plaza Premium lounges located in the United States, they mimic that of the Capital One lounges with the addition of Orlando. Now, Plaza Premium locations are also available at a whole lot of different international locations, and so that could be a plus. Now, Priority Pass is a huge lounge network, and they are located in a lot of different locations. I won't go into detail about that because the Chase Sapphire Reserve also has access to Priority Pass, so it's not a differentiating factor between these two cards. Now, the Capital One lounges themselves, they're actually really nice. I really enjoyed them. I went to the one DFW. I wish I could go back. In fact, I wish I could live there. And now the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the lounge situation is a little weird, somewhat. So you got access to the Priority Pass lounges, like I said, but you also get access to the Chase Sapphire lounges. They don't have access to Plaza Premium, and the Priority Pass access with the Reserve used to include a restaurant benefit. However, that's been taken away, so nothing to discuss there. But the thing about the Sapphire lounges is that you actually get some access with just a general Priority Pass lounge access, which the Capital One offers you. For example, the Chase Sapphire Lounge in Hong Kong, they actually allow unlimited access to those with Priority Pass membership. However, the other Sapphire Lounge locations in the United States, they only allow you one visit per year per Priority Pass membership. Otherwise, to enter these lounges in an unlimited fashion, you would need the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You're not able to get in with just the Chase Sapphire Preferred. The lounge locations of these Sapphire lounges currently include Hong Kong, Boston, JFK, and LaGuardia. And they have some upcoming openings scheduled to be in Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Phoenix, and San Diego. Also worth mentioning, they have the Sapphire Terrace that's already open in Austin, Texas. However, that's not truly a Sapphire Lounge. And it's really just kind of a patio that offers beers in a can and some other grab-and-go snacks. Nothing too crazy. It's hot, and it neighbors the really nice Delta Lounge, so you're kind of just sitting there envious, sweating. It wasn't enough for me to keep my Sapphire Reserve, so that's a little bit of a spoiler alert though. But now to sweeten the deal, if you do have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you do now have access to Air Canada's Maple Leaf lounges, which the North American locations include Los Angeles, LaGuardia, San Francisco, and seemingly every lounge in Canada except Montreal. Guests will cost extra, and you do need to be flying on Air Canada or a Star Alliance member in order to get access to it. So here's a quick take just on the lounge access with these two cards. I think if you live in or if you frequent an airport with a Chase Sapphire Lounge and you would like access to that, because I've heard those are really nice. I haven't personally been to one yet. I am really excited to try it out though. Then it may be worth getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve, even with the reduced benefits compared to the Venture X. However, before making that decision based on that information, let me first ask you, how many people are you trying to get into the lounge with you? Because the Capital One Venture X allows you to add 4 authorized users for free, and those 4 people that you select as authorized users, they also get 2 guests that they could bring with them to a lounge, and that's independent of you. So it's a great gift to give someone, but also if you're trying to roll deep with like a football team of 15, then hey, this card is for you. Because of Chase Sapphire Reserve, they let you add authorized users, but it's $75 per person. And then they also get the same lounge access benefits as you. And so from free to $75 per person, that's kind of easy choice. You may want to get the Capital One Venture X based on that. Now there is one more factor to consider when deciding which card is best for you, and be sure to stick around after that because I'm going to give you my full take on this question and why my decision making might be shifting about now. The last deciding factor I have for y'all is the travel portal. Now this could be a touchy subject for some, but I think the stigma is going away from it for good reason. So here's the 2 options. On one hand, you have a nice travel portal that's actually somewhat delightful to use. On the other hand, you have a less delightful experience, but you have the opportunity to get better value from it. So those are the 2 options at hand here. The Chase Sapphire Reserve has the better value option. It'll let you redeem your ultimate rewards points for 1.5 cents per point on the travel portal. And so this 1.5 cents per point value that you get on the travel portal is actually really good if you're the type of person that spends a lot on budget travel, so economy flights or cheaper hotel stays compared to the luxurious resorts like a Grand Hyatt, for example. example. The Capital One Travel Portal, on the other hand, just has good vibes written all over it, you know? It's easy to use, easy to search, it just looks good. It's powered by Hoppers, so they have a lot of good price transparency in terms of, is this a good price or a bad price, kind of like Google Flights. They have a lot of great protections that are available to purchase. You can freeze the price, which is kind of meant to me, but they also let you pay for additional travel protections so that they will help you rebook your flight for you or give you a refund. And they have like a cancel for any reason type protection as well, albeit for a reduced amount. And they even have price matching if you were able to find a better price elsewhere, and then compare it to the portal, you can call and get a refund for that amount. However, you only get a value of 1 cent per point, so not the best use of your miles. However, it is an option for you, but you can also just use the Capital One portal to book travel and earn points that way. Now compare this over to the Chase travel portal. Chase has a reputation of being more expensive than if you were to book with a hotel or with the airline directly. Now I do think that this is case specific, however some examples can definitely be made either way. I know from personal experience I was able to actually book a hotel on the Chase travel portal that was actually cheaper than booking directly, so very case specific. So that's kind of the debate between the travel portal. If you're an economy traveler and really want to take advantage of that 1.5 cents per point, then the Reserve might weigh a little bit heavier compared to the Capital One travel portal. Now before I give you my personal experience and my take with this decision, there's another consideration or two that you need to be aware of. First consideration is that Capital One can actually be pretty stingy with their approvals. If you have too many credit cards or if you talk poorly about them in the 5th grade, they won't approve you. Just kidding, but they have ears everywhere. Just kidding. But if you do have a lot of credit cards or a lot of recent inquiries or just a poor credit score or sometimes just random factors, they may not approve you, and that could be very frustrating. Additionally, if you do get the Capital One Venture X, you decide you don't want it later, generally you're able to downgrade the card after a year. They'll give you some options. However, that's not even guaranteed, and which options you get isn't necessarily guaranteed either. And then once you downgrade it, it's hard to say how easy it is to re-upgrade or to get the card again if you decide to change your mind again. Compared to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I feel that the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the younger brother card, is pretty ubiquitous. Everyone has it, or everyone can get access to it, and then you can always upgrade the Chase Sapphire Preferred to the Reserve after a year of having the card, so long as you have high enough credit limits. It was $10,000 the last time I checked. You simply just call the number on the back of your Preferred card, and they're able to upgrade you. And if you change your mind, you can just call again, downgrade it, typically not a problem. So keep that limitation of access in mind when trying to figure out which one you should apply to, because if you're earlier on in your award travel game, you may want to go ahead and apply to the Venture X. And if you're a little bit more ahead in this award travel space and have a lot of credit cards, it might be a little bit of a risk to apply to the Venture X and get a denied application. The second thing is that there can be a case made to have both of these cards. However, in my opinion, that is a lot of annual fees to stomach, but their transfer partners are complimentary. You get a couple more lounge access if you do have both of the cards. So you could, but that's a personal choice. So here's my take as far as who should get which card. If you've got a big family or just a family that you're trying to get into a lounge, then the Venture X is for you. If you're more annual fee conscious and you don't want to work to make an annual fee worth it for you, the Venture X is for you. Now, if you live somewhere or frequent an airport that is close to a Sapphire lounge like Boston, then I may recommend to get the Sapphire Reserve just so you have reliable lounge access. And I would say this is true for any upcoming lounges such as Phoenix or San Diego as well. And then finally, if you are an economy traveler or budget traveler that would really use that 1.5 cents per point on the Chase travel portal, then I would say the Sapphire Reserve might be for you as well, just so long as you have a way of recouping that $250 value of that annual fee minus the $300 travel credit. Me personally, I get the Capital One Venture X. I liked how easy it was to recoup that annual fee, and I like the lounge access options whenever I got it because the Sapphire lounges weren't really opening up at that time. I was really heavily considering getting the Sapphire Reserve because I am booking a lot more cheaper hotel stays via the travel portal, and so I wanted to use that benefit. However, I remembered I have some authorized users on my card, so that way they can get lounge access, so I didn't want to cancel and ruin that for them, and I don't want 2 large annual fee premium cards myself. So don't forget to apply to these cards in the links down in the description of any of my videos. Here's some more videos that expand on some of the topics we talked about today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.